I've always been very proud to be involved with the college, not only because of, in my view, its extraordinary curriculum, a sample of which we'll be hearing today, and the very titles are just, I think, wonderful, but also the values the college upholds. It's about healing, it's about recovery, not just coping, not just getting by, not just managing our suffering or our distress, but it's about living. It's about finding meaning in life, finding our own song. I was walking my little dog in my local park a few weeks ago, and my attention was caught by a park bench brass plaque. And it simply said, "Do not judge a song by its duration, judge it by the way it touches and lifts the soul." And this is my deeply held conviction that this is what the Recovery College strives for, and I believe achieves. It understands that human beings, all of us, we need connection. And it's connection, it's through connection that we can slowly begin to discover our song and to share our song with others. We all need to be seen, to be heard, to be validated, to be recognized. And this is what the college stands for, and this is what the college does. And it's my enormous privilege to be a tiny, minute little part of that. And the very name of today's celebration, gifts we give to others and to ourselves, encapsulates it. It says it all. Gifts, the gift of extending ourselves to others, the gift of accepting somebody else's gift. Connection. Again, it's all about being human. Without further ado, I wish you all a wonderful morning. I'm sure it will be a wonderful morning. Just looking at the programme, Words for Wellness and Wellbeing, Tree of Life gifts, Gardening for Wellness, Amateur Dramatics, Paying Ourselves First, A Rainbow on My Pillow, the unique and surprising in everyday life experience. Don't leave yourself behind, a note to self when in communal spaces of learning. My involvement with Recovery College, an experiential account. Unconditional positive regard. It speaks for itself. It's all about connecting, giving, and receiving. Unfortunately, I won't be able to stay all morning, to my enormous regret, but I'm sure it will be an enriching and enjoyable experience for all. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name's Ulanah. I'm a professional recovery tutor at the Recovery College, and I'm really happy to be here this morning. It's so sunny, and I've brought the sun with me. So I'm going to do my best to go through what I have to say to you about words as quickly as possible, because I thought I had more time, just realized there's less time than I have. So, Anne, will you begin sharing, or had you finished, John?
I've finished, yeah.
Absolutely. Anne, please go ahead. So, the focus of my contribution this morning is around words, the power of words, the impact of words, and how words can transform us internally and externally, and how words can transform our lives and take us towards recovery and healing. Please move on, Anne. So words is what I bring to you this morning, and let's remember they have meaning, they have purpose, and they have power. Okay, we can use them as tools. Move ahead, Anne. So like everything else in the universe, words have energy. They vibrate, they have different frequencies, they have different textures, and they can change the nature of things. The energy of a room, our thoughts, the way we recover and heal. And if you reflect on our values for the Recovery College, which is hope, opportunity, and choice, and you take that in for a moment, you see how you feel with just sitting with those words for a moment. Yeah. Often I notice when we offer that at the beginning of a session, how people light up the idea that there's hope, the idea that there's an opportunity, and the idea that we can make choices. Next slide, please. So I would like to bring to you something quite fascinating this morning, not necessarily scientifically robust or any of that, but interesting nonetheless. I've come across a Japanese doctor called Dr. Emoto, no longer with us. I think he passed away last year or the year before. He did some experiments on human consciousness and how this can affect the molecular structure of water, of which we are, I believe, 60% made up of water. Okay. In 2004, he wrote a book, Hidden Messages in Water, which was a bestseller. And he basically wrote words on the bottle, on a bottle of water, and left it, and then put a microscope over water particles and frozen particles of water, and what appeared was magical. Please change slides, Anne. So what he noticed was that when you speak into water, or you allow the energy of a word to penetrate water, what you have is the water changes. Okay, so there's love, geometrical, beautiful. Go ahead, Anne. And the next slide will show you different droplets of water under the microscope after Dr. Emoto has put a word on it, or had people speak words into it, like "you fool." You know, imagine how that feels when somebody says that to you, or you say it to yourself, because often this is what we do. We say those words to ourselves. Okay, so you can reflect on these slides later, but time is limited. So there's harmony as well. And there's also thank you, which is a wonderfully powerful vibration of a word, which does really change your body and your mind. Please change, Anne. So words can be used as tools. This is what I'm offering this morning. The gift this morning is to remind you that you have the gift within you, a tool that you can use for your healing and for your recovery. And we can use this through the practice of affirmations. This is where we affirm our health and well-being through a repetition of words, which can eventually change our patterns of thinking if practiced regularly and often. No magic there. Regularly and often. Similar to the use of mantras, which is part of my practice, or sound currents in Eastern religions. So, and in a classic book you might have come across, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, she talks all about how words can impact your body and how repeating affirmations daily can actually shift the way that we feel and how our bodies function, our immune system, our heart, because of how we're thinking and what we're speaking. Please move forward with the slides, Anne. So, some of her affirmations, I would take more time if I had more time, but I'm aware. So, okay, so some of her healing affirmations, Louise Hay's healing affirmations. Life loves me. All is well in my world. It's only a thought, and the thought can be changed. The point of power is always in the present moment. As a mindfulness practitioner, that's my affirmation. Now is the most important point that there is, and it impacts the future. Thought. The thoughts we think, I changed that this morning, but couldn't get a chance to put that in. The thoughts we think, each thought we think is creating our future. I am in the process of positive change. It's safe to look within. I am willing to let go. Often that's part of what our healing involves, letting go of past beliefs and hurts. Deep at the center of my being is an infinite well of love. Hard to believe. But with these powerful words, we actually don't need to believe them at the time. We use faith and we just realize that there's a possibility and keep repeating them. And we'll find that over time we start to feel differently. Next slide, please, Anne, who's multitasking. So here's a beautiful one, or a few beautiful affirmations, which I discovered by watching a video of somebody who'd overcome adversity and found strength and confidence in herself. So I am gold, I am bold, I am brilliant, I am beautiful, I love you. So you're talking to yourself. I am perfect as I am lovable. And again, all is well. And I often say to people, all is well, all will be well, and all manner of things will be well. You are your own gold. We are our own gold. Next slide, please, Anne. So I'm going to slow down now because I can't rush with this one. It's too beautiful to rush. So the point is that we can use words. What we speak to ourselves is very important. And often what we're saying to ourselves is not too good. I'm not good enough, you fool, etc., etc. Remember that makes an impact on your body, your 60% water, and the water and the liquid in the body is impacted by that and can affect you on the physical, mental, and spiritual and emotional level. Okay, let me go. So fire, water, earth, and air. Within me, all these things are there. The flesh on my bones is like the earth, soft, strong, and full of worth. The blood that flows within my veins and even my brains is like the ocean, river, and rain. My spirit soars and keeps me higher. This is where I keep my fire. My words, my thoughts are like the air. I can do anything and I can go anywhere. Earth, fire, water, air. Within me, all these things are there. And so I pledge unto myself power, love, health, wealth. A poem by Louisa Tish. I'm tingling. Are you? So this is to remind you that we can select the words we use, pause before you say them. When you say them, words that are not helpful for you, yourselves and your healing, pull back from that, delete, and repeat something powerful. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day, the rest of your day, and the rest of the program. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.
Can't hear you, Ksenija.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, yeah.
Great. And Anna, are you there?
I'm here, yes, I'm here.
Great. So thank you both, John and Ulanah, for your lovely presentation and to open up this 7th anniversary of Recovery College. And I don't know how about you guys, but I believe 7 is a lucky number. So good luck to us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk a little bit about Recovery College as a tree of life in the forest of life, which is our community. So for that, we have a lovely slide here, and I'm going to introduce you a little bit to a tree of life metaphor, and it's we have also a course that we run at the Recovery College, and we used to do it over a few weeks, and people would come and draw their trees, and they would be working on their story, on their journey, on their recovery. So we also do like a shorter course on that, even online. We have been doing it in pandemic. But what I would like to reflect on here and use Recovery College as a metaphor for tree of life in a busy forest, which is our community. And I would like to specifically reflect back and look forward as well, and look at the present of what it means to be a tree of life in this forest of life in community. And I would look to that through the definition of resilience, and being really, really important to look at that in terms of rediscovering new parts, making new meanings, being able to let go of some of the old ways no longer serve us, and looking at a simple definition of resilience, which is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulty. So if I use the tree of life metaphor, and I'll just explain a little bit about the approach. And what we will do today is to explore the strengths and resources that we use through our life journey, and being Recovery College as a kind of this tree in the forest, regardless of any challenges or adversity we have faced. We look through each part of the tree and reflect on our story through these 7 years of being in the community. So we look at the roots and the background. We have started in September 2014. The project started with just a small team of 4, and we only had about 6 courses to deliver at the time. And those were small routes that we have taken, and those were our first steps. And from there on, we kind of branched out into many courses, getting more people involved in Recovery College, putting our roots out, employing peers, employing volunteers, working with trust staff, working with outside community, with different organizations, Mind in Camden. So we were branching our roots through the community, connecting to different trees and organizations in community. And that's how it all started. And kind of the tree started to grow a little to a trunk, and we were starting to use our skills and abilities to support others in their recovery journey, sharing their skills and abilities with us. And then as we use the Recovery College as a metaphor of tree of life, it's kind of branching out into the branches and hopes and dreams and wishes, which it's something that it renews each time that we kind of go through each year, through each season, and weathering the different stormy weathers and nice sunshine, our dreams and wishes replenish and renew. And then leaves being significant people. We had many people at the Recovery College coming and going, some here to stay. I've been here since, as I said, we started in 2014, but so many people have come and gone, and we all like to remember them, and some return, some don't. So it's kind of nature of life. And then if we look at the flowers, which is gift you've been given, and then fruits, the gifts you've been given as well. I think it's a metaphor for giving and receiving, and that Anna will talk a little bit about that more, about flowers and fruits. And what I would like to do a little bit is to kind of reflect on the last year and last couple of years that we have, because we do this anniversary every other year. So for the last 2 years, we've been weathering kind of the stormy weather of pandemic. And we've been doing that with other people in the community as well. And I'd just like to reflect on thinking about how that may have been for us, and acknowledge and think about again resilience, what resilience means to us at the Recovery College. How did we use it? How did we weather this storm pandemic? So there were changes, there were challenges, and there were difficulties, but there were also bright moments, and there was sunshine and cloudy sky, and almost like an opening for us in so many ways. And through that storm, we kind of almost adjusted the ways that we work with community, and we had to work quite in a different way. So our courses went online, and we had to work hard to go back to that tree and think about the trunk and skills and knowledge, build our new skills and build different ways, teaching ourselves as tutors, as people in the college, but also connecting with students who didn't maybe have these skills, trying to learn with them together and better our resilience in that way. And to some extent, we have achieved quite a bit in that time. We are feeling that we are much more confident in online offer, but we still like to offer some face-to-face courses. We had courses like addressing Black Lives Matter, BAMI course, in terms of resilience, having mindful conversations about race when there were struggles in that way. There was culture shifts and changes and diversity, and us as a college, we had to also address some of that, which sometimes just reflecting on that resilience again, is just broadens our horizons, it expands our knowledge and opens a new way of thinking, and inclusion and diversity and all that kind of came back again as a lesson that we need to learn again. We also adopted a new way of working with partners and students, and we have been working much more in partnership with crisis team, opening a new service through pandemic, which we called CSPA, which is crisis, working with crisis single point of access. And it was a service that we called Recovery Navigation Service. And again, we started working with people, adopting new skills, calling people in crisis, offering them our own kind of knowledge and skills of well-being, how to go through crisis, how to weather the storm, and how we were weathering the storm reflected on the people that we served as well. So we also been staying resilient in terms of working with the trust and supporting trust in their kind of well-being, offering mindfulness course for trust staff only as well. So in so many ways, the storm is been there, but nevertheless, we kind of weathered it. We've been through the storm. We are still standing, and we are still here to celebrate and to be with our students, with you. And I'm so grateful that we are still here and standing in this forest of life with the rest of the community. So I will give this over to you, Anna. I don't know, I might gone over a bit. Sorry, I got carried away.
Not a problem, Ksenija. Welcome everyone. My name is Anna Tunaru, and I've been working with the college for more than 5 years, and I'm so delighted to be here today on the 7th year anniversary. And as Ksenija said, 7 actually is my lucky number. I'm really pleased to be here with everyone in a new way of celebrating, adapting to the new ways of living and working during this, after the pandemic. So I would like to start my bit of presentation with a quote that I found it to recently. Actually, it was shared by one of my colleagues at the Recovery College. It's a quote from Pablo Picasso. And it sounds like this: the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. So that's my introduction of the gifts. And then the tree of life metaphor, we use fruits as gifts that we have been given by others, and flowers as gifts that we have given to others. So there is a lot of meaning in this statement, so I'll let you to reflect on this and unpack it in your own time. And when I'm talking about gifts, I'd like to underline that it doesn't have to be material gifts. So gifts could be acts and words of love, compassion, kindness, and care. Ulanah just underlined and expressed earlier the power of words, wellness, well-being, and love. So very, very powerful. So also I'm inviting you to reflect on the following question that I'm going to share in a minute. And maybe if you want and if you wish, you may take notes. So Anna, I would like to see the next slide with the question. Thank you. So I'll be starting with the fruits that are in the metaphor of tree of life as described as gifts that we have been given by others. So the first question: what meaningful gifts have you received from the Recovery College? A question that I can ask you, but also a question that I can ask myself. I'm aware of the time, so I'm going for another 2 minutes and then I'll be stopping. So I'll go very quickly. So what gifts I received from Recovery College in more than 5 years? I would like to start with the students. So the gifts, the more precious, the valuable gifts that I received were their recovery, healing, and life stories. Their words of wisdom, For example, somebody said in a course, grief is a form of love, and it completely changes our discussion and our perspective of grief. Our students' contribution to enriching Recovery College courses and learning together and from each other. Their words of appreciation and smiles and valuable feedback, suggestions and ideas to improve our courses or to develop new courses. From colleagues, gifts, plenty of gifts, especially during the pandemic. Regular check-in, being listened to with compassion and care, empathy, handmade postal cards that brighten up my room that I received from one of my colleagues, recognition of my contribution, invaluable support from the admin team, an opportunity to start new projects, to develop and grow, learn new skills, but also gifts from our partners that offer us, before the pandemic, free training space, technical support with the course equipment, their patient, and also refreshments for us and for students. So why do I think that the person gave me, or the people gave me this? Perhaps to show that they care, to show their kindness, their support, their recognition, maybe to express their appreciation and gratitude and trust. And finally, what do they appreciate about me that would have led them to do this? I assume that they appreciated my commitment, my generosity, my integrity, my empathy, patience, guidance, maybe my shared life experience and vulnerability, and willingness to learn from mistakes in my life experience. So probably a year ago or even 10 years ago, I wouldn't be so sharp on recognizing my qualities or why people would appreciate me for. But I learned to look throughout my work at the Recovery College to be present and to connect with myself and see my strengths and my my talents. So I leave you with this thought of reconnecting with your talents, with your gifts, with your strengths. Celebrate them, share them, and enjoy them. Thank you so much for being with us and for enriching our Recovery College. Bye and have a wonderful sunny day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rina, and I'm from Recovery College, and we are celebrating the 7th anniversary today. I've been here joining this team since the start, so I've been working Recovery College for 7 years. My role is, I'm a peer learning worker. My role is to support the student for the recovery journey, and I'm currently supporting one-to-one telephone support called Learning Guidance Conversation Telephone Support. In this support, I offer one-to-one course guide support and also self-care discussion, maybe coping strategies. Also, maybe you want to learn something particular thing to make your life more meaningful way. If you're interested please have a look at the website and get in touch with us. And I am in touch with you to call you to one-to-one session. So that's my main role. And also I deliver in several courses. I'm going to skip the Recovery College information because my colleagues already gave a very good summary of the Recovery College ethos and values. So I'm just going to straight to the icebreaker. I know I can't see you all, but imagining that you are watching us today and enjoying watching the several presentations earlier. So I wanna this session I am going to introduce you the gardening and well-being for the Recovery College. We have these courses, used to run these courses, and it was quite successful. So I'm just gonna offer you a bit of a taster today. So I want to ask you, I'm just imagining everybody in front of the screen, that what is your favorite house plant? I don't know if you can use the chat box so you can just write it and then maybe we can see it later, or you can just have a look at your house and you know, look around if you have any house plant that you really particularly care for. So just be aware of your favorite house plants and then think about reason why. So maybe I can start. My favorite house plant is this. I got it here today. You know what it is, everybody? This is called spider plants. It's really like bushy now. This spider plant was given my wonderful colleague at the Recovery College, and it was the size of my golf ball, maybe table tennis ball. But look at this now, it's really big. The reason why I like this plant is really telling me the resilience and strength of life. This one, I almost killed it. I neglected the big type because I put it usually on top of the bookshelf, and then I've forgotten watering them. But then never dies. It's just so strong. There's not much care needed. But then, of course, I need to water them now and then. And sometimes I give them a fertilizer in the spring. Now it's flourishing. So this really gives me power and also the joy of growing a house plant. So that is my favorite house plant. So today I would like to show you, share with you the benefits of having plants in my house, in your home. Also, I would like to share with you my experience. So I have a lot of plants. I'm passionate about the gardening, and this was really helping me maintain my well-being, especially the lockdown. We had been a very difficult time last year and a half. All of us never had this strange experience in our life, I think. And lockdown, especially the first lockdown, was really challenging for me. And I was really stressed about the being at home and looking after children because schools are closed at the time. And yeah, it was really tough. But then I just wanted to do more gardening because this is my part of my self-care, and I wanted to grow some vegetables and together with my children. But the garden center was closed and I wanted to buy some seeds. And I looked online and all the seeds are sold out. Maybe some of you know. It's just similar situation as the toilet roll and hand sanitizers all sold out. These are also sold out. I think people are thinking the same thing as me. Okay, we have a time at home now. Let's just do some gardening, and then seeds are all gone. So I just thought about it and also chatted with my online community, with the gardening group. And someone suggested you can actually use stuff from home. And I opened the fridge and then I saw tomatoes in the fridge. And my son and I said, okay, maybe let's scoop the seeds out from the tomato to plant it. So which we did. And surprisingly, the little bud came out from the tomato from Sainsbury's. And my son was watering and observing it. It's a part of the project at school at the time. And my families are really bonding in a way, like they're looking at the tomato plants while it's growing. And in the summer, we had 5 tomatoes we harvested, and it was very delicious. We made a salad together, and it really helped us coping with this challenging time, have a little bit of fun growing the tomato plants from the tomatoes in the fridge. So it's really help us to cope with this challenge in life and then bond us together. And also towards the end, we had the tomatoes to eat. It was quite delicious, actually. It was really, really fun. So that's the benefit of having the plants or growing some plants in our life. And it worked for me. It's a stress relief by gardening, and gave me a joy by looking at my plants growing and flowering and learning how to grow, my capacity to love and care. And also I utilized online community on gardening, so I connected with the devices available. Even the lockdown, not being able to go outside, I was still connecting with the people online, chatting with them, getting a lot of advice. So this is the part of my well-being, and then perhaps maybe some of you may understand the love of gardening, and it may work as a well-being as well. So next part, I'm going to demonstrate the plant pot making and maybe the propagation of the house plant. I'm just going to push the screen a little bit far so that maybe you can see. Here we are. This is my money plant. Some people call it jade plant as well. Apparently, this is a very lucky plant to have in the house. It used to be very tiny. It's just about like this end tip, like to 1.5 inch. I got it from garden center years ago as a bargain, like a 50p. Now look, this is so big. So if you want to, make another pot of same plant, what you can do, you can just snip it and then just plant it into the soil, and it will grow if you just put the soil, right kind of compost. I particularly use the peat-free compost because of environmental issues. If you can, maybe you can do the same, because peat takes years to grow, and we don't really need the peat in the compost. So yeah, so this one, just snip it and then put it in the compost, and it will grow like this. Also, you don't need to buy plant pots. I learned the skill from my ex-colleague from the Castle Haven in Community Garden Project, which is in Camden. It's a really good place. I really strongly recommend you. You don't need to buy a plant pot. You can only use the newspaper like this, and the scissors, and this is a coconut tin, but any tin, baked beans tin or any tin, if you have these 3 things, you can make a plant pot. So I'm going to demonstrate to you. So first of all, you need this, I hope you can see, the newspaper, and putting on the one side like this. Can you see? I hope you can see. Yeah, one side, and then roll it actually. Oh, actually like this. Sorry, actually like this, and roll it up like that. Like this. And this side, you can just hold it tightly like this. Yeah, yeah. And then you can just up a little. So this one is a bit too long, so I can just cut it with scissors. Just, you know, in the length that you like. So like this. Then you can just take the tin off. Yeah, but still a bit long for me. So I'll just cut it in like this. Yep. Ta-da! It's done already. Look, you see, like a plant pot. This is great because it's biodegradable. So you can put the compost in there. And if you want to grow salad leaf or anything like, you know, this money plant, you want to propagate, you just put the compost inside and then put maybe the seeds or any propagation plants and then put it like this, like that, and then water them. And if you want to grow some vegetables, you put the runner bean seeds or, you know, the carrot seeds or maybe even sunflower seeds. Once the little buds came, you can just plant it into the bigger pot or the ground as it is, because this is biodegradable. It will be becoming a soil eventually. It's quite quickly. So it's environmentally friendly and easy. The plant pot can be quite expensive, but this one you can just use it to anything, any papers from your home. I would recommend the newspaper. It's the best one. If you have a tin like this, you can make one. So this is my technique to grow vegetables and plants at home. So yeah. So tips of the thriving houseplants. Of course, you need the water and the soil, compost, peat-free if you can, and the sun. These three things are so important. If you overwater or underwater, it would damage the plant. Often overwater. So you can just touch the soil, and if you feel very, very, you can even stick the finger in. If it feels very dry, that's when you need to water them. Fertilize when active, maybe summertime, springtime. Also never give up when plants are not well. Don't throw it away. Check the roots. Take the plants out of the soil. Check the roots. If roots are like white and then healthy, and then maybe you can just change the soil and then put it again to see how it goes. Yeah, if the soil is healthy, it will come back. And some plants are dormant in winter time, so it looks like a dead, but then it's active in springtime. So yeah, never give up. You stay hopeful, and it will come back. Yeah, and potting, propagating, it's easy. And also you can grow vegetables from the sort of waste vegetable. If you can have cabbage that you finish, and then you keep the bottom bit, and then if you can just put it in the compost or maybe put it in a little water, it may grow like a salad leaves as well, like a lettuce. Or maybe the spring onions, if the green bit will come up, so you can recycle and you can keep eating them. So yeah, it's easy to grow vegetable from the waste vegetable as well. Yeah, so I'm aware of time now in this session. I hope we have learned the importance of caring for living things and nurturing it. And we explored our capacity to care for and help something to thrive. Also, we learned failure is okay, and perseverance and resilience are attributes that gardening can help to develop. I hope you enjoyed my session, and thank you for watching, and have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Hi everybody, I can see that my slide has come up. Is this me now? Yes, it's me. Hi everybody, my name is Denise and I work for a charity called Quaker Social Action, and I work for their Made of Money project. And I've been, over this last year, I've been working with the Recovery College to deliver a course called Making the Most of Your Money. And this morning I wanted to talk a little bit about that experience, but also to talk about money and this idea of paying ourselves first. So yeah, that's me. Yeah, paying ourselves first. So if we could just see the next slide, please. Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you £300. It's my gift to you. We're talking about gifts this morning, so I'm going to give you £300. What would you do with it if you had £300? Would you spend it? Would you save it? Would you give it away? There might be many different choices, and we might do, if we had this amount of money suddenly given to us, we might do what we think is right for us at the time. We might be guided by the practical situation that we're in. You know, we might be needing to pay a bill, or something in the house might need fixing, or we might be guided by an emotion. We might be feeling a bit low and feeling that we deserve a treat, or we might be feeling really happy and wanting to celebrate and spend the money on something really nice, or maybe a gift for somebody else, something positive. But equally, if someone's got mental health issues or addiction issues, suddenly having a big amount of money like that might be a huge temptation. It might be a cause of stress for some people. Maybe they wouldn't be used to having that amount of money, or maybe they'd be worried about what to do with it. So if we could see the next slide. Yeah, it's acknowledged that there's quite a strong link between money and mental health, and often it's portrayed like a cycle, as in this slide that I'm showing you here. And this is a cycle that's come from Mind, by the way. I should acknowledge that. Worrying about money makes someone's mental health worse. Poor mental health means managing money is harder, and thus it can go round in a bit of a vicious circle. And for some people that are attending the Recovery College, for some of our students, this might be where they are in terms of their relationship with money. But what if we could be somewhere different? What if we could help people to get somewhere different? If we look at the next slide, this is an alternative way of looking at it. Don't let money run your life. Let money help you run your life better. So not being controlled by money, but maybe being a little bit more in control of money. And I think this demonstrates perhaps where we'd want to get to. And the question of what would you do with £300? This is a question that I often ask within the Making the Most of Your Money course. This is a way that we can get the discussions about money started. And it's the sort of discussion that we have in the course. We talk about our relationship with money. We talk about how we manage it, how it relates to our feelings, and how it impacts on our mental health. And within the sessions, students have shared stories about their financial habits. They've swapped lots of money saving tips. People are actually quite savvy out there. We've shared lots of stories, and I've learned a lot about my fellow tutors' money mindsets as well. Rina, I can't see you at the moment, but I know that you like an impulse buy. So yeah, we've learned about our own financial habits as well, and our approaches towards money. Yeah, thumbs up from Rina. But working with the Recovery College on this topic, it's given me the opportunity to work with some very dedicated, some very caring and compassionate people. And this has been delivering Making the Most of Your Money. It's been my first experience of co-production with the college, working with Kirsten and with Rina. And as this is my first year, we've had to do it all online, which I don't think any of us were expecting. And that's been challenging, but equally it's been very rewarding. And I think in hindsight, again, coming back to the idea of gifts, I think it's been a gift to me from the Recovery College, in that it's helped me to learn about delivering material online, and it's helped me to feel more confident about delivering material online in my other main job with Quaker Social Action, because I've had to deliver materials online there as well. So thank you, Recovery College, for giving me the practice about delivering things online. So I think let's talk about this idea of paying ourselves first. If we can go to the next slide. So paying ourselves first. This refers to a savings technique that's talked about quite a lot in the sort of financial capability sphere. The idea is that you save money regularly and automatically as soon as you get paid, you know, whether that's earnings, benefits, whatever, wherever the money's coming from, so that you don't have to think about it and you don't miss it. It just becomes a habit. And this is money for you, you know, as an individual. This is money for you. This is money for your future self. And it depends what you want it for. It might be money to give you security so that, you know, you feel prepared for the unexpected. It might be to reach a specific goal. Maybe you're saving for a particular item or an event, or it might just be to have spare money for a treat. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes we might feel that we need a treat. And also to reflect back on the amount of money that I mentioned at the start, the £300. We use that figure because if you were able to save £1 a day for 10 months, then at the end of the year you'd have £300, perhaps a little bit more if you can keep going. So, you know, it's good to maybe have a target. If you saved 50p a day for 10 months, you'd have £150, and so on. So even a small amount can be really, really helpful, and it can make you feel like you've achieved something if you can reach that goal. So paying yourselves first, it's kind of like a kind of financial self-care. It's a good habit. It contributes to our overall well-being. It's a gift to ourselves, and I think that's really important. When it comes, you know, thinking about financial well-being, it's looking after ourselves as much as it is looking after the money. Now, I feel that Recovery College gives people the gift of space and time to talk about what's important to them and to explore what might help them along their journey to recovery or their path to well-being. And this includes their financial well-being. It's in our society, financial well-being is an integral part of that. And I really hope that QSA and the Made of Money project can continue to work with the Recovery College to help people improve their financial well-being and to help them pay themselves first. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the webinar.
Hello everyone, my name's Ruth. I'm a Recovery College student. I started attending the college in 2019 and I did a whole year, and I really felt that that year stood me in good stead for the storm that was the COVID-19 pandemic. I think if I am able to assess my own resilience during this last year, I would say that I've been thriving, and I feel that I've really thrived during this time, and I've been able to give support to others, friends and family. So I want to give you today the gift of finding or being aware of unique and surprising events in everyday life experiences And this poem that I'm going to share with you was inspired by a real event that happened for me a few weeks ago, when I saw a rainbow image on my pillow. So I want to share with you now a rainbow on my pillow. A miniature arc of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and purple appeared on my pillow one afternoon as monochrome rain clouds were clearing the sky and brilliant rays of sunlight came streaming through my bedroom window. Captivated by this new surprise, intrigued with the curiosity of a beginner's mind, I wanted to understand this optical illusion. Experiencing the wonders of the invisible world in a rainbow, I was grateful for this small miracle of colours now reflecting on my hand. A unique experience, rich in metaphor and symbol, giving me the choice, opportunity for finding new meaning and purpose. Remaining mindful in this awe-inspiring moment, I listened in the silence for my heart's response. So I share this and I give this to you because we all have those moments in our day, you know, when we notice even small and significant things that could add and give deeper meaning and purpose to each of our lives. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. It's not a very long presentation, but I think it's not about the length, it's about the content. So I hope that, you know, each of you will be able to take away something and be able to relate to, you know, what it is that I've shared today. So thank you all for listening, and thank you Recovery College. You've been a real lifesaver and has given me a lot of resilience and grounding over this over the last 12 months. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sandra Chikara, and I am one of the members of the college's advisory board. Just to give you a bit of a background about myself, so I also work within the trust as a mental health nurse, and I'm also the chair of the Black Asian Minority Ethnic Inclusion Network. I have been involved with the network, with the college for a number of years, and I'd say the biggest gift that amongst so many that I have had the privilege to receive from the college has been the learning and the understanding of what co-production actually is and what it entails. When I was introduced to that concept for a very long time, you know, the focus was on collaborative working, which in itself is very positive. But when you look at co-production, it takes things to that next level, where we see things in their entirety, in that it's not just about the science behind things. It's not just the medical aspects behind things or you know, what literature says, but it's actually also the lived reality of things. And that is where I feel the impact is felt and actually makes a difference. Because for a lot of us, I mean, if I look at my clinical work, if you look at some of the courses that the college has put on over the years, and also some that are still running, if someone is talking about, say, for instance, depression, psychosis, all the different mental health conditions that we hear about, they're never the same from one person to the next. And what we're here for is to support each other to address the realities of living with these kind of conditions. And so what I learned from the Recovery College was that, yes, you've got to have the clinical understanding, but you also have to understand the lived experience. And so being involved with the college has been really helpful to bring in different perspectives and also to provide resources as well for clinical teams that I've been based within. And then moving on from that, there's something as well about co-production and looking at our own well-being. If anything, having gone through the pandemic and all the other life challenges that are being thrown at us, one's well-being is central to one's resilience. And just looking at even the courses, the tester sessions that we had in today's celebration, I was taking notes and I learned things that actually I can use in my own well-being. And this is where the beauty of the college comes in, where you come in, you have one perspective, and actually it opens up your eyes. It opens up to new possibilities and a different way of looking at things, which is all empowering. Because more often than not, there's a lot of focus on what is missing in life, what is wrong in life. And because there is co-production in you know, as the bedrock of the college, what you find then is, yes, that is what, you know, the label is, or that is what the title is of something. But what are the opportunities? What are the realities? And also taking it a step further, looking at the work that we're doing as an inclusion network. You know, we were thrust at the forefront when it came to Black Lives Matter, you know, when it came to the forefront during the last pandemic. And it was about turning to the college once again for that support. And the college came through for us. They've come up with programs that teams can actually have facilitated within their teams, in their settings, to actually support people to have these difficult conversations and to facilitate the positive outcomes. And taking that as well to that next step as well, in terms of the work that we've been doing across the trust in terms of inclusion. We have, as a network, been leading on the development of the inclusion roadmap, which is one of the key pieces of work that's informing the people and culture work that's taking place across the organization. And how did this come about? It came about from the learning, that same gift from the college about what co-production means and how to do it right, where it was co-produced with our exec and also the learning from our members. And at the end of the day, what do we have? We have a very comprehensive product that will ensure that people are included. People have platforms where they can come and speak about their challenges and their concerns. So for me, I'm forever grateful. There's always an open door. There's always someone to have, you know, a conversation with. And before COVID, you could always knock on the door and then you'd be able to come in and have a cup of coffee. And I really do look forward to those times coming back again. And I guess for me, as a closing note, is also actually offering a challenge to our managers and our leaders in the organization to make the most of this amazing resource. Reach out. There is so much. It's a treasure trove of knowledge, passion, drive, and learning. Reach out to the college. Talk about the things that you're worried about within your team. And I guarantee you they'll be able to support you and help you. And the other challenge is to everybody, to ourselves. There's something about being kind to ourselves, looking after ourselves. Pick up a course, whether it is sleep hygiene, managing your money better, hoarding. I mean, we all have aspects in our lives that we could do with a hand. And the programs are there. They are there to be used, to grow, to be shared. And they're free. So that's my challenge to everybody. And to say thank you to the college, to the people that started it, to the people that keep sustaining it, to the team. Thank you for the generosity. Thank you for always making time. And thank you for growing and encouraging that appetite for continued learning. So happy celebrations, happy anniversary, and here's to many more years to come. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's really great to be part of this celebration of the Recovery College. I'm sorry, I've got my camera off for now. I'm in the middle of work, but I just wanted to share a little bit about my journey with the Recovery College. And it was quite happenstance coming together, my engagement with the college, because it was just in the middle of the pandemic. And I have titled this little piece, Don't Leave Yourself Behind, a note to myself and in communal spaces of learning. And the reason why I've chosen that title, because on reflection, I realised the Recovery College has been a great enabler for me to understand what's important and how I can bring myself more fully into the space and become something more of my true self. And this is really an example of an organisation that has created the conditions to enable that to happen. And as I said, my experience was with the Recovery College was at the end of 2020, during the pandemic, which Sandra had spoken about. Black Lives Matter was becoming more in the public domain, and the death of George Floyd left me with a sense of social isolation, literally and emotionally. Physical distancing was at its height. And as a woman racialized as Black, there was really a sense of being nowhere, but also here at the same time. And the here-ness was a sense of being quite alone, with a lot of grief and disillusionment, anger, and at times numbness, and fluctuating mental challenges as well. And it took me a long time to find a community to discuss the feelings and the place that I was in. And at the Recovery College, I notably engaged in several courses, but the ones that were really pivotal for me were the relationship course and the course about having difficult conversations, talking about race. And I have to really shout out to Ulanah Morris, who was facilitating those two courses, which was really very powerful for me, because I guess it was a setting that allowed me to voice what was meaningful for me. And that was in part because there was representation, as Ulanah was also a Black woman holding the course, and also working with material that was very difficult and very charged. And I found myself in a space where I could experience others who had similar and shared experiences I had, and could put words to my experience that I didn't quite find the words for at the time. And this was really, really powerful for me. And it enabled me to shape my voice. As much as I'm a practitioner, a health practitioner, an embodied educator, talking about racialized trauma, talking about my experience as a Black woman, generally isn't something that is comfortable to do. And so I was really grateful for the opportunity in the context of the Recovery College to be able to have the space to really come into relationship with others who had similar experiences, and in relationship to my own distress and my own emotional well-being. So what enabled me, really, as I said before, representation was really important. So I applaud the college for having staff who may speak to and be familiar to its students. Also really taking a risk and exploring material and topics that are complex and can be very charged, but they are done in such a sensitive way that enables people to come forward to be more themselves. And it's with those experiences that I later on was able to develop, I guess, my skills as a co-producer, later taking on the course of co-production, Train the Tutor, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and was able to learn with others and work collaboratively to be able to speak more openly with care about my own experience with the course that we had crafted together with another learner on that module. So I really want to celebrate the Recovery College because you've enabled me to develop my voice and become much more of myself. So congratulations, keep doing the good work, keep pushing the boundaries, keep moving towards the edge. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for this amazing celebration. Recovery College has meant so much to me. Personally, I feel like Recovery College has given me the education I wished I had when I was a lot younger. Today I wanted to talk about unconditional positive regard and what it means to me. And so I came across the expression unconditional positive regard in my counseling class, and it comes from Carl Rogers, and it means showing warmth towards a client regardless of what they say or do. It's not, maybe it's not always possible, but I think it's something to aim for. During the lockdown, I've been working for mine in Camden to make phone calls to do like regular check-ins. One of the clients, he was expressing very strong views against Muslims. His neighbors were Muslims, and for me, I found that very challenging, because he also expressed very negative views about immigration, and I'm an immigrant myself, and I have Muslims in my family, close relatives which are Muslims. So I found it very hard to deal with, and but then to sort of show unconditional positive regard to me in this case was to sort of trying to look for strength spotting. So I could see that the client really cared for an older, elderly gay friend. He was really worried and concerned about him. So I was then sort of affirming this, that he was very caring towards his friend. And I called the client every week, and it became like a regular habit to call him on Sunday afternoons. And he said when I was calling him that he had been waiting for my call, and I managed to see a lot of good sides in him, and we stopped with the check-ins. But I think in a way I find empowering is really powerful. And I have another client who expressed recently very negative views about women, and I told him that this is not, he was using derogatory term against women, and I said that that's not the right language to use towards women. And he said that he didn't want to come to mind anymore, and I told him that that would be such a shame, because he's such a generous and honest person. So that was my way of showing unconditional positive regards towards him. So yeah, that is my way of showing warmth towards clients, because there is something good in each person, and it's important to recognize that. Thank you so much.
I think you're still muted, Mike. Mike, we're running a little ahead of time, so you've just joined us, but if you're happy to unmute and you want to introduce what we've discussed so far. So with Mike having just joined us, I'll take a brief moment to introduce both of us. Starting with me, I'm Jonny Simmons, and I'm a peer tutor at the Recovery College, and it's a real privilege to be able to join in and get involved in the men's space, and want to particularly pay tribute to Mansfield Watson, who was instrumental in setting up the men's space at the Recovery College, and initially ran it with my colleague Mike, who I'll let introduce himself to you now.
I can't hear.
Just go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? I can't hear anybody. You can hear me? I can't hear anybody.
Yes, yes, Mike, we can all hear you.
Can't hear anything. Everybody else is muted. But you can hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear anybody. I can't hear you or anybody. Maybe they'll connect me in a minute, Jonny, yeah? Got my phone. Oh, hi, Jonny. Yeah, yeah. I can't hear anybody. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Could be that. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I can't hear you though. All right, so give me
can
the
you hear
thumbs
me
up
now?
when you want me to start speaking. Give me the double thumbs up, and I'll do my bit, and then do your bit. I'll try and I'll
yeah,
try.
go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. Double thumbs up.
Oh, hi there. So it's Mike from. I'm a community mental health nurse at Camden AOT, and I'm doing the men's group with Jonny Simmons, who's also online. I gather everybody can hear me. Unfortunately, I can't hear anybody, but you can see me, I believe. So I'll just do, I'll just do a quick summary from my perspective of what we're going to be doing. So I've did the 2 groups of the Recovery College last year that was very successful. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to end the sessions early. So Jonny and I co-facilitating the group. So it's just what it means to be a man in the 21st century, really, and how men process emotions. If there's a strong emotional response to something, how do men respond? Do they implode or do they explode? Implosion can result in self-harm, suicide. In the worst instances, violence towards others, to ourselves, self-harm, violence to family, to friends, to partners. Violence can spill out into society as a whole. So we're just trying to give people a forum to process their emotions in a way that's more constructive, to give them some insight into their feelings and how to process them really in a way that's socially acceptable and not destructive to them and to others. But that's a very brief summary of my understanding of what we're going to be doing. So, Jonny, do you want to say your bit?
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Can you hear me now, by the way?
I can hear you, yeah.
Cool, so we can kind of do this as a bit of a dance, you and me, exploring what you've just said, yeah?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So as Mike's just said, part of what the men's space is about is really giving everyone involved, Mike and I equally, a chance to talk about our emotions, a chance to process our experience in the world, and doing that in a space consciously where it's just for men is really an opportunity to provide everyone that's part of it with a sense of connection and an opportunity to explore and find and share understanding. The subject of this little space, about a chance to reflect on what it means to be a man in the 21st century. Mike and I have spoken a lot about how it's so easy to get caught up in life and the functioning and the expectations of what we believe we should be doing and how we're meant to live life. And as Mike's just said, in doing so, we often neglect our own feelings, our own emotions, and sometimes we don't even know how to process them or how to healthily engage with them and experience them in a way that that can not just help us, most importantly, certainly help us rather than hinder us, but also help us engage with everyone around us and use our gifts, as the theme of today was about, in a way that there's a positive influence on the world, and that's something that we hope is just one of the topics that we can explore and that can come out of the men's space. But really, most importantly, it's an opportunity to find empathy, to find connection, and for all of us to explore as equals. Mike and I, as Mike said, are facilitating this space. We're not teaching as such. We're exploring the world together and our experiences in it. Is that fair to say, Mike?
Yeah, that's a good explanation of it. Yes.
Another thing that we spoke about, as I mentioned earlier, I work as a peer tutor in particular, and part of that role is sharing my lived experience. And I certainly reflected on the fact that if I look at my life up until 10 years ago or so, I was living and functioning as best I could as a man in this world, as I understood that to be, living in particular with a mental health diagnosis and a mental health condition that over the best part of 20 years really hampered and impacted my sense of identity, who I thought I was and who I thought I should be, which made everything harder, to be completely honest, and actually led, in my case, to complete and utter eventual breakdown and suicide and other subjects like that. And really, where I gained so much strength and gratitude coming out of that, which I never thought I would for a long time, was a sense of letting go of all that I thought I needed to be and all that I thought I was meant to be and how I should be in society, and really coming back to the very basics of what I feel now is the essence actually of all of us, male and female, and is that essence that's inside each and every one of us that starts off with connection with other people. And I think particularly for me, I felt in years gone by that the opportunity to talk about that and be honest and open conflicted with kind of the persona that I had to put on in my working life and how I had to, or how I thought I had to be seen. So that's something that I've really benefited from, and hopefully just one of the things that we can bring to talk about in the group.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from having done the group for 2 sessions last year, it certainly helped me, and the feedback that we got from the other participants were very positive. So I'm very hopeful that we can have a positive outcome to the group that we're planning to start in the near future. So
in the near future, indeed. I think our first session is at October the 6th. Is that right?
That's it. That's right, Jonny. Yeah.
So for anyone who's watching this, whether or not you're part of the trust or just live and work or volunteer in Camden or Islington, please spread the word about this group, Men's Space, to anyone you think it might be beneficial to, and really that is anybody. Mike and I have talked so much about how creating this space is a really rich environment for everyone to not just connect with others and discover things about them, but in doing so discover a lot about themselves. And if it might sound odd to some people doing a men's space, there's really nothing odd about it. It's just a space where we can be and explore. So please, if you're watching this and you feel interested yourself, then look at the Recovery College website and sign up for the course. or if you think of anyone that might benefit, as I say, please steer them in the direction of the Recovery College, and there's lots of information about other courses and also in this case the men's space.
Okay, so I think that's a good summary from my point of view of everything that we're hoping to achieve. So I think we'll leave people to reflect on that, and hopefully people will feel able to join in themselves or encourage others to participate. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. I'll sign off now. Have a good day. Bye.